bacon, bacon, bacon. Where did it go? Where's the bacon gone? Where's the bacon? Oh my god! Where's the bacon gone? How have I even lost that? Honey, did I leave the bacon in here? Oh no, it's under the carrots. It's okay. I'm going blind. What an idiot. There it is. Ta-da! Great. Hey guys, and welcome to week 1 of 12 weeks leading to Christmas. This week we're going to be looking at taking stock of what you've got. Okay, so we're going to be looking at what's in your pantries, what's in your freezers, what's in your fridge, what's in your dry store if you've got one, what materials you have lying around the house, what you have in your recycle bins that could be used to go towards materials for making gifts or decorations and things like that, what you have already that you don't then have to look at going, I don't have the money for that. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do this year. Welcome to the pantry. Now this is where I store pretty much all our dry store ingredients that we have in at any time. We have all sorts of jars of citrus peels that I have made during the year. That one I think is a pomelo. Yes, that one's a pomelo. This one is clementines. Ginger, I don't need the ginger right now. I've got them. Oops. Lemon peels. These I definitely need to pull out. Oh, and there's some lime ones up here as well. I knew there was another one. So these I've been crystallising during the year. When we do have citrus food in the house, I won't waste them, and I'll use the peels for things like this, so that I can do things like make our own mincemeat, put it in the cakes and stuff like that. Now, other thing that I have that I need to get out of here right now are some walnuts. Now I buy these in broken bags of them because it's about £3 cheaper a kilo to buy broken walnuts than it is to buy whole ones or halves. Which is money that I can save for other things. Now, what else do I have down here? I don't have is any real mixed fruit. Now, but I have things like apricots and cranberries, which I will use this time round. I've also got hazelnuts, which I'm going to open up. I've also got some almond meal flour. Things like almond meal and almond flour and stuff like that I don't tend to buy. What I do is I wait until I have things like that. The place that I get them from, by Whole Foods online, they have offers every week of special items that they're giving away if you spend a certain amount. Now I only do that once every 3 months, so I wait until the week comes up that I see something that I'm not normally going to buy, and I will buy that then. Not only that, but I get free delivery at the same time. Ta-da! So if I do that and wait the 3 months, I actually save myself nearly 30 quid every single time. That's a bonus. Right. So, down here there's stuff as well, and I buy what I can, as I can. It's taken me 3 years to build up this dry pantry to the point to where we can now pop in here when we want, how we want, and just, you know, get what we want when we need it. So I'm going to bring these out. And we're going to get started. It's also where we keep the freezer, the little freezer. Now we know what's in there, so it's all good. But knowing what you have in your dry store is really, really important. because these are things that you don't have to put into your budget. They are things that you don't have to worry about, and then you've got the money for other things then. Okay? So, yeah. I'm going to go that way. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to make our fruit for the Christmas cake, which we're going to feed with whiskey right up until the day. Okay? Now the whiskey that we've chosen to use is this bottle of White Mackay that we've had for a year. Now it was given to us as a gift, and it's got dust on it, okay? Not a lot of dust because it's not a dusty household, but it has got dust on it. I want to prove to you that I didn't go out and just buy this, okay? This has actually been sitting on our shelf now for about 8-10 months. So yeah. Anyway, I've never tried this before, never. And I'm not a huge whiskey drinker, I'm more of a bourbon girl. But I wanted to read to you a little bit of the blurb on it. Now I'm not sponsored by them in any way, I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I just thought what they wrote about it on the page was interesting, and actually I chose this one over the other bottle that we were given about a month later, which is Glenfiddich, which was my father's favourite and probably would have been my first choice for the cake if I hadn't read the blurb about this. Now, that blurb says that its taste, it begins with mellow and exhilarating flavours of tropical fruits, rosehip syrup, caramelised orange segments and macaroons, and finishes with peaches in syrup, licorice and Seville marmalade. And apparently the nose, which is the smell of it, the posh word for the smell of it, what it smells like in it is smooth and warm highlights of marzipan, manuka honey, creamy caramel and demerara sugar, followed by whispers of glazed pineapples, cider apples and praline chocolate. Now, quite apart from the which it sounds like floor pancakes made by a 2-year-old, I thought actually with all those spices and fruitiness and stuff like that, it would go really well with a fruit cake. So we're actually going to open it. I'm a little bit scared. And actually, oh, it's been a while. That's not bad. I can see what they mean. I can actually smell the fruit and the chocolate and the yum yum yums and the caramel and all of that sort of stuff. Once you get past that real hit of alcohol, you can actually smell all that, which is kind of cool. So that's going to work really, really well for our cake. So we're going to do that. That's what our job is today. We have to soak up the fruit. Now, the only thing that I have actually bought for this, out of the budgeting money that wasn't already in the cupboard, are these. Now, the 500-gram bags of smart priced dried fruit mix, not sponsored by Asda. These are the cheapest bags you can get. It's £1.06. It's very basic. You get a little bit of peel in it. And there's raisins and sultanas, and that is pretty much it. Yeah, pretty much it. So what we're going to do is we're going to doctor it, add our own different types of peels and fruits as well, and some hazelnuts and some walnuts into the bowl, get it boozed up, and then we'll come back to it tomorrow. So yeah, we're going to just, you know, chop it all up, get it in the bowl. Actually, some of this is quite dry, so it'll just shatter, which is good. Right, they could go in there, along with a good handful of cranberries. Oof. apricots straight in. Some nuts, walnuts, and some hazelnuts, and booze. We're going to use about a quarter of the bottle, so that's about 250 ml. And then we're going to mix them all up. Now, if you do not want to use booze, don't use booze. But I would suggest using something like a orange juice or apple juice, because you want all of that to take on these flavours. Right, and what we have to do now is we need to leave that until tomorrow. We're going to cover it up and leave it till tomorrow, so it's one less job. There we go. Done. Hello. So today we're going to be looking at materials that we have around the house already that we can use for things like decorations, gifts, stuff like that. Because if we know what we've got, we know what we need to get, and we know what we can do with them, or we can start thinking about what we're going to do with them. Now, one of the things that we have up here on the fridge is a big black bag of decorations. I've just got to get Tally's floor out of the way first. Oof. Big black bag of decorations that we picked up when one of the local cheap shops was shutting down and they were getting rid of all their stuff. So we picked up, and this was a couple of years ago. Whoa! A whole heap of stuff. Right, get this store back up here. But knowing that you've got stuff like this is a head start. And we've probably not used any of this. In fact, we haven't used any of this ever. So it's all, as far as our decks are concerned, new. But we can use them as a jumping off point to make new stuff. So, come with me, there's other places to look. Okay, so one of the places you can look is in your bedroom. Now I'm not going to take you in there because it is the pit of doom at the moment, but also we normally have a bag of stuff we're not going to use, like old duvet covers, old sheets, towels, stuff like that. That's basically curtains, a rag bag or spare fabrics bag. We did have one, but we actually gave ours to Bam when he moved into his place, so that he actually had curtains and a set of, albeit mishmashed, but some bedding. So, but things like that are really useful for using fabrics for other things. So it's another place to look. One of the other things you can do is come outside and look and see what you have out here. If you have a tree that you've had to take a branch off, you've got a branch. You might have bits of wood and stuff like that that you can polish up for something else, or a little signage or whatever you want to do. We've also got buckets that, you know, can be decorated and used to put other things on to give different heights. So use what you've got outside as well. The other thing is you can go out into nature and go and pick up evergreens and stuff like that to make into lovely hanging boughs and things for your decorations. Or pick blackberry fronds and vines and things and weave baskets, do whatever you want with them. But the point is, come out here and have a look. What about your kitchen? When it comes to having materials, it's quite an interesting place to be. Now, if you keep hold of your broken crockery throughout the year, you already have tiles that you could be doing mosaic work with. Something very different in that, and it's very, very cheap to do if you're saving your own stuff. The other thing you could do is random teacups, random saucers, make little bird feeders, stuff like that. Go and have a look and see what you have. I mean, we have, oh, pardon me, we have random things, but not a lot. At the moment, I don't think we have anything too random at all. Most of our random stuff was actually packed up. The only thing that I can really find is any kind of random are these little candle holders, which could come in handy for something. We've got 3 packets of those. Now, I know that we picked those up at the same time as we picked up the Christmas decorations, and that was around about 3 years ago. So I haven't found anything to do with them yet, but I'm sure at some point I will. So that now brings us to what we commonly call the recycling. Plenty of that around. Got Coke bottles, delivery boxes. Keep these because if you've got to send something, they're always in good condition, and the really, really good ones, keep hold of those because you're going to need them. Then we've got you also save yourself a £5, maybe a tenner altogether in postage. We've got cardboard rolls, we've got packaging, you know, all the good stuff. Now, because I don't have a lot of stuff that we can use, because all of my stuff is packed up in storage right now, waiting for us to eventually move, finally move, I went and I purchased some felt. Now, you can pick these up from eBay. There's 62 colours in there, 62 sheets, and it cost around about £9, not much, £9 for 62 sheets. Now, out of that, because of what I'm making, and I will show you what I'm making, I'm going to be making big ones of these. I'm going to be making them bigger so that they can be used as our Santa socks this year, and people's gifts will be going in them. These ones I made a couple of years ago to put nuts and sweets and things on the mantelpiece or on the table, and just scattered around the room so people could just grab them, you know, and get what they wanted out of them, because we didn't have any serving bowls, and it worked. So I'm going to be doing something like that. I'm also going to be doing some felt animal decorations for the tree, and obviously be using these to do that. I will be putting the patterns up for those up on Patreon. Now, if you're not sure, oh, the other thing that I bought, because for those of you who don't know, I'm actually a textile artist, and I create things like that. Now, in there, by the time it's finished, it'll have over 50 different coloured threads in it. I know it looks all pink, but yeah, it'll have about 50 different coloured threads. And what I tend to do is I buy them in bulk. Now, you can pick these up online at eBay, which is where I get them from. For 50 of them, it's £6, just over £6. You can get 100 for £13.99. I'll put a link to the places that I bought this and the felt from below in the description, in the video description. So if you want to actually use the specific sellers, everything will be down there. Now, I haven't been sponsored by anybody or affiliated by anybody or whatever, but those will be used now to do these. Now, like I said, the only reason that I've had to go and buy stuff is because all that stuff's in storage, and it really irks me that I've had to do that. But for us to find my art supplies in that storage locker, and it'd take us days. It would take us days, and so it's I've had to bite the bullet. What I don't use, I'm going to save for something else, because that's what we do. I'm always going to use stuff like this. If you are going to buy things, make sure that you buy the stuff that you're going to use again, and if you're not going to have any left, that's fine. But if you are going to have any left, make sure it's stuff that you can use, keep using. Okay, so if you're not sure of what to do with things like recycled materials, let me show you what I do with them. I make little lamps like this. This is what I do. And inside are some little fairy lights. Oops. Oh, there we go. That light up and make a very cute little night light. Now there is a woman on, or there's a few people on YouTube that make these from scratch every week. I don't. I put a lot of effort into mine. I use air dry clay that I get from the Works here in the UK. You can purchase it for £4 a piece if you get it on £4 a kilo if you buy it online. Okay, if you buy it online, you can get it for 4 kilo. If you go to the shop, it's £1 dearer. So yeah, but that's what I do with it, and then I paint them up. So, you know, things like that. But these are all the molds inside and everything are used using recycled plastics. This was an old Coke bottle of some description, and these were probably like fruit cups, things like that. So there you go. Things can be made quite incredibly using recycled materials. So I'm just going to put that down. So it doesn't get broken, because someone might want to buy it one day. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of things you can do. You can look all over Pinterest and find things. Go for it. Go your head. Just don't get lost in it all. Have a look at what you've got, use what you've got, put in as search parameters the materials that you have already, and think about what you can do with them. If you've got a bunch of t-shirts or something from the kids that you don't want to get rid of because they're special ones, cut the special piece off and make a quilt. The kids will love it. It'll be something that you've made that will have a huge place in their heart, because it will be a reminder of all these wonderful places they've been to or things they've done and all of that kind of stuff. And it's not hard to do, because that kind of thing is just straight lines. You know, anything like that. If you've got something that's to do with yourself and your partner, whether that's different napkins of places you've been, something like that, I don't know, whatever, but something that is you and them, that you can put together for them as a different kind of blanket or something like that. Entirely up to you. It's what you have in your home, or not, or the things that you have to purchase to do, you know. I will be putting patterns to what I'm going to be creating on the Patreon. When we went and did the shopping, I try and look for things that are a little bit cheaper, that are on offer, that are seasonal, all that kind of thing. And we found some pears, which are they're small ones, but they'll be sweet ones. And I kind of thought, well, we haven't had pears for ages, and I don't really know what I'm going to do with them. But, you know, we'll go and see. So what I've decided that I'm going to do is this year since I haven't done it for a very, very long time, I'm going to do a thyme and honey roasted pear upside down gingerbread cake. Now this cake can be served hot, cold, whatever. It can also be frozen, and it's going to be frozen for us so that we've got it over the Christmas season. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to roast these pears. Now, if you were going to just do them as roasted pears, you're going to roast both sides, but what we're going to do is we're going to put them in this upside down pear with gingerbread, so we only need to roast them on one side. But first off, you need to peel your pears. And you want to use fairly hard pears for this. You don't want them to be really soft, because they'll literally turn to liquid when they get roasted otherwise. Now I've got 5 small ones. If you're using bigger pears, you may only find that you need 4, but it's just nice to have these around for other things as well, just desserts on their own. It's pretty damn good, I'm not gonna lie. They also go really well on a charcuterie board, cold. So they go really well with things like cheeses and cold meats and things like that as a side dish. Now these, once they're roasted, actually can be frozen. So if you have a lot of pears, like you have your own pear tree or something like that, you can actually, you know, do a whole heap of these and have them in the freezer ready for whenever you want them, for whatever you want them for. So I'm going to cut these in half then, and I'm going to use this little melon baller just to bring out the core of the pear, like that. And then I'm going to put it cut side down on a bed of thyme. Now you use as much or as little thyme as you want. The next thing we have to put on here is honey. We're also going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil over these, just a tiny little bit, not a lot, just a drizzle, very light drizzle. Nice little drizzle of honey. I wouldn't use more than 2 tablespoons of honey, to be honest, otherwise they're going to be way too sweet, but that's perfect as they are. Right, now they're going to go into an oven at 180°C, which is 350F or gas Mark 4, and they're going to be in there for the next 30 minutes. So we went to the reduced section, we found these little British Chantenay carrots. They're down from, they've been marked down twice, so we've actually got them at 23p. We also found some Brussels sprouts, which were down to 29p a packet, so that saved us a nice pound around just for those. We bought this bacon. This is just cooking bacon, so it's scrap bacon basically, and it's really, really good for just whatever you want to have chopped bacon in. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do 2 of these, 2 of our veg, they're for Christmas. I'm going to get them with their ingredients that they need to be cooked with in the little baggies and into the freezer. Now, they're recycled ones that we've already used once or twice before, so they're not new or anything like that. What I like to do with the Brussels sprouts is, like, I like to have them cooked up with some bacon. So I'm going to slice these up, add them to the little baggie with the bacon already chopped up, ready to go. So all we have to do is chuck it in a pan and saute it off. Now if you're a veggie and you don't like bacon in your stuff, that's fine. Don't use the bacon. Maybe use some chestnuts. Now this bacon we purchased £1.50 for 750 grams. Okay, now we're not going to need that much, and the reason that we buy this like this is because I want the fattier bits for in this dish, because that'll help to cook everything off nicely. So I've got two fairly good chunks there. Go handfuls straight in the bag. Now this here bacon that we've bought here, this is going to go into be making mini quiches as well as other things to go towards our dishes for the day or week. Right, so that there is now all ready to go and go straight in the freezer. These carrots, the little Chantenay ones, I want to use as glazed carrots. Just get rid of this bucket a minute. Go over there, over there. So all we want to do to these is going to give them a bit of a bath. Chop their little tops off. We're not going to actually peel them because they don't need it. These are very, very little babies. They really do not need to be peeled. We're going to pop all of those straight in the bag. Right, the other thing we're now going to do as well is we're going to put some of our margarine in there, because you never know what can happen. We may not for some reason have any. So, you know, to err on the side of caution, a couple of spoons of the margarine straight in there. And a little bit of honey. Well, it's getting colder because the honey's starting to crystallise a bit, but it doesn't matter because that will actually melt as it heats. So yeah, these are going to be the honey roast carrots. Plenty. There we go. And that one's done too. So two side dishes, three if you include the pears, all ready to go for the freezer. So it's simple and easy, less things to do on the day. Why is that not closing? Close. Right, there we go. So if we freeze those flat like that, then we can store them a lot easier in the freezer. Done. Two things completely done. So while they are done, our pears are done. Now we've had those in the oven now for 30 minutes. If you were going to do them fully roasted for whatever you wanted to do, you'd now flip them over, cook them for another 15 minutes, okay? But we don't want that. We actually want them as they are because they're going to go into something else. I'm going to leave those to go cold, and then they'll go into this container and they'll go popped in the freezer as they are. Then when I need to use them, I'm going to pull them out and they'll be ready to go. So there you go. A few minutes each day. I mean, I've been making this video now over 3 days, and I've probably done no more than 20 minutes work each day to get a few things ready that's going to make my life easier at the end of the day. Have a look in what you've got. Don't go out and buy stuff. If you've bought stuff on a whim, see what you can do to use it with. And like the pears were a whim. The chantenay carrots were a whim. We could have used those for a meal now, but we don't really need to, and it's not something that we're planning on doing in the next week. So it's better to get them processed and in the freezer ready for use. So they're done. The Brussels sprouts are done. The cake is done, and all I have to do for that now is feed it once a week with 1/3 cup of whiskey. Or if you're using brandy, use brandy, or rum, use rum, whatever, I don't care. It's your cake. At the end of the day, use what you want to do. We also have some of the mixed fruit left over, so that we're going to use that to make mincemeat with. Like I said, the video for that is, the descriptions down below, as in the crystallizing citrus is all down below in the descriptions below. So go have a look at them, check them out. And if you want to get printable versions of what I've done today and the recipes that I've been doing today, go and check out my Patreon. It's £1, $1 a month, 70 pence a month, and you get all of my recipes as I do them in printable form, printable PDF form, so that you can just print them out, put them in a folder, and then you've got them. Yeah, the recipe in its basic form is down below, but if you want it to have it printable, you can go over there and check it out. Okay, I love you guys heaps, and I will see you next Monday. Have a really, really good week. Don't stress about stuff. It's very, very simple to get easily prepped up, easily organized. A little bit every day, a little bit every 2 days, a little bit once a week. It doesn't matter, and if you've got stuff in the house already, use it. Have an awesome, awesome rest of your week. See you guys Monday. Bye bye.